Hey, my name is Shadowsense and you're watching Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. Sorry that I haven't loaded directly into my game yet, but I'll do that right now. Also, if the audio sounds a little different, it's because I have to record using OBS because NVIDIA shares being a dumb. Time for night 14. It's hard to believe I've done 14 nights of this already. And also, if I sound a little weird, it's because I'm getting over a cold. You arrive at the Leech Pit, finding it less rowdy than last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead, the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar as the bartender finishes pouring a beer for an older guy in a faded, fraying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you. What can I get you? Hey, is Mia around? No, she's not in tonight. She looks you up and down and a spark of recollection shines in her eye. Oh yeah, that's right! She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of YA vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the Leech Pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer sent here to spy on us by the cam. Give me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. That sounds like a dangerous go of it. It doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. He sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty on his table. Take a moment to consider your approach. Feeding opportunity, presence. Look for his ask for his master's name up front and get him drunk and talkative. Sorry, my camera is actually a bit in the way of my choices there. I'll push it back just a tad. But also I need to be able to read the timer. Ugh. Let's get him drunk and talkative. The man immediately notices you, but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. Hey, I know you. You look familiar. Oh yeah, I think I saw you here before, right? It's possible. I'm a regular at this joint. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw you the other night during that concert. That must be it. Anyway, anything I can help you with, or are you just looking for somebody to chat with? Kind of looks like Nathan Explosion from Metalocalypse. How about another beer? I'm buying. I don't say no to beer, and I definitely don't say no to free beer. A short while later, you return with the drink. The guy has been eyeing you the whole time. He picks up the glass and takes a big gulp. Oh, yeah, that hits the spot. It takes a second drink to really loosen him up, and a third to make him somewhat more chatty. You learn the story of his tattoo. He tells you about his gym routine, an actual drama series he's been binge watching on YouTube, and where his favorite spot to fuck girls is. Oh boy, cool. Is it behind the bar or in the bathroom of the bar? Because I recall last episode, I walked into a particularly dirty threesome. At no point does he let slip anything that would point him being somebody's ghoul. Point him to being somebody's ghoul, though. In fact, you're beginning to suspect he's not nearly as drunk as he acts. Well, that was nice, but I gotta go. Thanks for the drinks. Hey, wait a minute. You haven't had anything to drink all this time? Cut the bullshit, knowing your master wouldn't either. Okay, cut the bullshit. I know who you are. I'd like the name of your master now. Any suggestion of his drunkenness is immediately gone. I have no idea what you're talking about. He smiles, seemingly confused. Oh, man, come on. I wish I could use my presence and just fucking vampire charm it out of him. You better answer the fucking question if you know what's good for you. Your master's name. Now, please. He doesn't buy it. You thought you had him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table one smooth move and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up to him outside. He's bolting, alright. Oh yeah, time for celerity. Throwing caution to the wind, you focus your blood and give chase after Bruce. He might be faster than a human, but his abilities are a fraction of yours. Cue that invincible meme. He dashes into a nearby alley and you follow suit. Before he can jump a fence, you tackle him to the ground. A short brawl later, you are standing a few meters apart, Bruce eyeing you with hatred. Use potence? Intimidate him? I'm gonna intimidate. Here's the deal. You tell me your master's name and you save yourself a world of hurt. Unless you want to exit this alley on a stretcher, you better. Whack! Bruce doesn't wait for you to finish talking. He jumps at you, kicking and punching with dizzying speed. It takes you by surprise and he puts you on the defensive. Just as you're about to retaliate, he breaks away, jumps the fence at the end of the alley and is gone into parts of the city unknown. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note to the other side. You have a whole bunch of nothing to go on, but that won't work. You figure it might be better to leave any name for Mia, even if you have to pull it out of your ass. Oh boy. Let's pin it on Kaiser. Kaiser. Sure, why not? Chances are Bruce worked for him too, even if he didn't know it. You put the name down on the page. You pass the piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book. Hold on a second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. What is it, a Motorola Razr? Oh, right, and this. An old charger for the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. It takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find that its phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake, though. The bartender is already over the other end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anarch contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, the name you put down will at least pique Mia's interest, even if it turns out you were spitballing. Yeah, I think I heard him say Kaiser. Sure. Anyway. Hang out with the final confrontation between Agathon and Juno. Ooh. God, I should do a main. Yeah, the final confrontation between Agathon and Juno is getting near. And Aisling Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs in New York, is impatient to see its results. You're in your haven when someone knocks on your front door. Puzzled, you open it. Agathon stands in the hallway expectantly, as if the 10 seconds it took for you to come to the door was an impossible imposition. How did you know this was my apartment? Agathon looks impatient, as if he's explaining the simplest thing in the world. Yeah, he probably used some fucking blood magic or something. I drove you home last time, remember? They got me in the neighborhood. As for the specific apartment, well, you left a hair in my car. Using that, your exact location was a matter of a simple application of the sympathetic principles. Shouldn't it be so strange? Everything we've done together has been about finding things through thaumaturgy. You follow Agathon down the street, wondering what kind of revelations tonight will hold. Yeah, some blood magic shit is how he found me. So far, Agathon's rituals haven't been successful at locating the research notes, but you've learned a lot about the Tremere and Agathon himself. This time I've got it. The problem is, when an old vampire disappears, even from our clan, we're so secretive that it's hard for us to find out what they were up to. Agathon's car is parked on the curb. You get in and he starts to drive. You may have guessed that the notes we're looking for belong to an old member of our house. The problem is that we need them to continue her research. So what does Juno want to do with all these notes? Is she going into research? Agathon looks at you uncertainly before returning his eyes to the road ahead. I don't know, but I can guess. Wait for him to continue, but he doesn't seem inclined to do so. You're getting used to sitting in Agathon's car in silence. He drives, you look out the window, back to Queens. Eventually, you roll up to an industrial area called Willett's Point. It doesn't really look like a place where a blood sorcerer would hang out. Agathon parks in front of a car repair shop that looks like it's seen better days. There are huge puddles of water on the road and the car wrecks are strewn about. Better be quick. If I can find this place, so can Juno. You look around to see if someone is observing you, but there doesn't seem to be any people about. And why would there be? Who would hang around a place like this at night? Well, vampires for one. Drug dealers, maybe. Agathon tries the front door to the repair shop, then circles around to the back. You follow him. There's a broken window in the back protected by iron bars. Agathon grabs them and gives them a quick shake. The entire iron grill comes off. Startled, Agathon lowers it to the ground. I suppose someone else has already broken in and didn't want to leave an obvious point of entry. You and Agathon climb inside through the window. It's awkward, but not difficult. Looking around, you realize that the repair shop has been abandoned for some time. Looks like homeless people have stayed here in the past, but nobody's currently squatting on the premises. You try a light switch, but nothing happens. You know the drill. I'll do the ritual in the office, make sure there are no interruptions. Agathon makes his way to the repair shop's office, a slightly cleaner area than the rest of the building. He begins the ritual in the dark. I will stand guard patiently. You lean against the grimy wall. Agathon murmurs the strange words required by his blood magic and takes carefully measured steps across the filthy floor. You wait patiently as he performs the ritual. It feels like it's taking longer than usual, leaving you time to scan the room. Street lights filter in from the outside, but it's still pretty dark. A ratty sleeping bag lies on the floor. Wonder what a warlock might have wanted in a place like this. There's a small TV on the desk, probably from the 90s. Looking closer, you realize there's a post-it note on the middle of the TV screen. You take it. It reads, "Loser, Juno." Agathon stops gesturing. They're not here. How is that possible? You show him the post-it note. He takes it and looks it over as if suspecting it might hide a devious trick. Fuck, she has the notes. And she had a gloat. We have to go. Feels like you spent a lot of time recently hurrying after Agathon as he walks briskly in and out of buildings into his car. He starts the car and you close the door. We have to go to her haven and get the notes. There's no time to waste. Despite the urgency of his words, Agathon drives as carefully as ever. Seems that only a threat to his grandmother is enough to make him drive recklessly. Makes sense. Are we going to find Juno? She must be hiding. We used to date. I know where her haven is. Juno's haven is in Brooklyn in a waterfront warehouse. Agathon drives south to Brooklyn. This is one of the advantages of being undead. Moving at night, traffic is much lighter than if you wanted to zoom around the 5 boroughs during rush hour. Parking the car, Agathon points to a light coming from an otherwise dark yellow brick warehouse. That's her. Let's go in. Yeah, that's probably better. But why the beast? Ugh, I'm scared. Preferring to keep a low profile for now, you circle around the building and look for an alternative entry point. You find a rusty metal door with no window in it at the very end of the building. Some kind of emergency exit? You get it to open with little difficulty, and entering the building with Agathon. You emerge into a light-proofed room, sanctioned off by one side of cheap plywood. There's a flimsy-looking door that probably leads to the main warehouse area. You stop to listen. You hear 2 voices, but they're hard to make out. One is Juno, and the other sounds like it's coming from underwater with strange resonance. You do your best to make out what they're saying, but you only understand bits and pieces. Is it possible for me to bring another? Yes. We are too powerful. Enough waiting. Agathon tries to break down the door by ramming into it with his shoulder. It's flimsy and breaks with surprisingly little effort. You and Agathon barge into the space and find yourselves at the periphery of a candlelit ritual circle. Your eyes are drawn to the wash basin at Juno's feet. Maybe it's her imagination, but it feels like the water inside is emitting a wan red light of its own. Juno, you have to stop. Hand me the notes. Agathon, you're such an idiot. This is beyond you now. I'll give you one last chance. Come with me. Forget Aisling and her power games. Join me and you can become your own man. What? Agathon seems genuinely flabbergasted at the suggestion. Hand over the notes now. If you escape with them, the Tremere will never stop hunting you. Juno ignores you and continues talking to Agathon. Please, Agathon. It's not too late. Come with me. The only furniture inside the ritual circle is a folding chair with an old stained folder bulging with papers. Juno notices your eyes dart towards it. Before you have time to move, she grabs it with her hand. You're not Tremere. You don't know these cowards like I do. They talk tough, but they're afraid of monsters in the night, the same as everyone else. Juno sighs. She doesn't look surprised at Agathon's refusal to come with her. I would have felt badly if I hadn't offered you the chance. Come back to the Chantry with me, Juno. Talk to Aisling. You'll see that this is not a good idea. You glance at Agathon with concern. You're no sorcerer, but fighting Juno in the middle of her ritual circle doesn't seem like a good idea. 2 words. Fuck you. Oh god. Grab the notes. While Juno's attention is focused on Agathon, you lunge at her. She doesn't even have time to blink before you grab the folder from her and keep speeding out of the building. You don't look back, and you anxiously await Agathon's return by his car. It's only after a few minutes that he emerges from the warehouse looking worse for wear. He nearly stumbles out, clearly in pain, and you see that his skin has turned to an ashy, unhealthy color. He looks at you with a smile nonetheless. His voice is a croak. She got away. The notes? He points to the folder. Good job. You see that he's beginning to recuperate from whatever happened inside, but as you take off, his driving is even more careful than usual, each move making him wince in pain. You sit in silence as Agathon drives you back to Manhattan. Traffic in the small hours is mercifully slight. You consider your next words. Now that we have the notes, any chance I can have a look at them? Agathon smirks. Sure, knock yourself out. You almost can't believe it. Finally, you will gain access to one of the Tremere's arcane secrets. You open the folder. The pages are all blank. I shouldn't joke at your expense after all you've done, but I just couldn't help myself. Only a special ritual will reveal the inscriptions, and they're probably written in a cipher anyway. Another ritual. Of course. Do the Warlocks have one for everything? The thought is almost enough for you to become oblivious to the fact that Agathon cracked a joke. Almost. You reach the occult bookstore. After Agathon parks the car, you head inside. You climb to the 2nd floor to find Aisling Sturbridge waiting for you. She looks surprisingly casual for someone with so much power. You have good news, I hope? Yes, we have the notes. Agathon hands over the folder. Aisling Sturbridge caresses the cover with obvious joy. Wonderful. You did not disappoint. What of Juno? We were not able to stop her. She escaped. Well, no matter. Agathon, you proved yourself yet again. In Shadow, looks like the Pyramid has a good friend in you. You nod, not saying anything. That seems like a good idea, because Agathon looks relieved. You leave the bookstore with praise ringing in your ears. Even the taciturn Agathon manages to smile. You have no idea what will happen in the notes, but you feel that you've reached an understanding with Agathon. Oh, that was all of Agathon's questline. Cool. Perhaps that's enough in this world of backstabbing and betrayal that you now inhabit. Neat. Time to rest up. A piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. It's computer printout, a note and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there." No signature. The place marked on the map is the lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. I fucking guess so. You go downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and approach the meeting spot cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out towards Manhattan. As you approach, you hear her muttering something. Is it true? But I do not think it true. If I do not think it true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then... she having an episode? Hey Mia, is that you? The woman turns around. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you have never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. It is not her. It is you. You are me and I am you. And we are her, and we are here. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. So, got the message. And who are you jokers? That's not the choice I meant to click on, but this cursor is a bit wonky. Your, how do you say it, entourage. The boss wants to meet you. Oh, you mean Torque? What? You gotta be shitting me. Torque ain't the boss of jack shit. I mean Boss Callahan, you dumbass. I suggest you get a move on. We've got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Or we could do it the hard way. I'm just gonna go. Yeah, okay, I'll go with you. Smart. They lead you down to the pier and onto a motorboat. The engine starts. Put this on. He points to a cloth sack. One of the guys is holding you down. The woman is still there, whispering to herself. Somehow you hear her voice clearly in your head. It becomes a nagging suggestion to put the sack over your head. You don't really want to do it, but your hands go through the motions all the same. Alright, we're going to continue this in the next episode, because this is getting a little, I might die? I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.